Thank you. Richard Lee.
Yeah!
Where am I? Richard Lee, let me hear it.
Yeah!
Tonight, we honor Richard Lee with the Dr. Lester Grinspoon Lifetime Achievement Award. For the past 3 years, and with Dr. Grinspoon's blessing, High Times has bestowed this award on a small but stellar group of individuals who have contributed a lifetime to the reform of marijuana law reform, and the achievements represent those seminal touchstones of ongoing history of cannabis. Each of those people who received their award, without exception, have put in more than 40 years of marijuana law advocacy. And they include, of course, Dr. Grinspoon himself, and after that, in no particular order, Keith Strott, the founder of the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, John Sinclair, the great activist, Michelle and Michael Aldrich. Let's hear it for Michelle and Michael Aldrich. And in February, in Los Angeles, we gave the Dr. Grinspoon Award posthumously to Jack Herring.
Yeah!
Yeah, Jack! All right. Now, since High Times magazine has been in existence for almost 40 years, it was pretty obvious that our first awards would be given to our friends who we knew from 40 decades in the trenches of this tragic America's war on drugs. Tonight, we are going to break with that tradition. Richard Lee, and as an activist, in 2010, Richard donated over $1.5 million of his own money to kickstart Prop 19. And he kickstarted the national conversation about marijuana legalization in that process. And today, for the first time in the United States of America, 50% of Americans support the legalization of marijuana.
Yeah!
A lot of that has to do with Richard Lee. All right. We missed legalizing marijuana in California by 4 percentage points, the closest we've ever gotten to marijuana legalization in this country ever. And the feds came in and they tried to shut Oaksterdam down. But I gotta wing it. It disappeared. They tried to shut Oaksterdam down. But in 2012, there is a brand new Oaksterdam University, and it survives and it will thrive with your help. The Oaksterdam Marijuana and Hemp Museum is moving into the old school space and will open its doors in July.
Yeah!
When we think about Richard Lee at High Times magazine, we are reminded of another activist businessman who took all of his money, what they called ill-gotten gains, and he put it back into social reform. This happened almost 40 years ago. And Thomas King Prasad, a brilliant smuggler, businessman, activist, and revolutionary, put all of his money, became the #1 contributor to the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws from the 70s and up to including this day, because the organization that he started survives. That is the founder of High Times magazine. And at High Times magazine, we know an activist businessman when we see one. And Richard Lee is the real thing. We are all honored tonight to give the Dr. Lester Grinspoon Award to Richard Lee for extraordinary marijuana law activism. Richard, where are you? Thank you.
Thanks. but I really can't accept this award by myself. I will accept it on behalf of all the brave soldiers I've had the honor to lead into battle for the last 20 years. We had over 100 employees at Company Bulldog, Oaksterdam. A couple, though, I have to single out. Larry Richards and Tim Sherwood were with us for almost 10 years. Those guys did a great job, but then there's one really special person who I wish could have been here tonight. She enlisted with me 20 years ago, started Legal Marijuana, the hemp store back in Texas, and a really brave person, Amy Doctor. We'd have a little round of applause for her. And then last, I want to thank High Times. I actually got started with High Times 20 years ago before the internet. I was looking for information on legalization and how to get involved, and so I picked up a High Times and found the Re-Legalize It page that had a listing of all the reform organizations, and that's how I got started. And I read about hemp there. I read Jello Biafra's rant, I Blow Minds of a Living, and Jack, which was basically Jack Herrera's, and the Emperor Wears No Clothes, and the hemp information. And so, High Times, want to thank High Times for being there all these years, fighting for legalization. So, and then thank all you guys, and all the brave soldiers who are still out there fighting and getting busted. And like I say, I'm just one small soldier in a big war, and Oaksterdam is just one battle. Thousands of battles, and we got to keep fighting. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Lee, the High Times Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Let's hear it, Richard Lee, everyone.
Yeah! Woo!
One more time, Richard Lee.
Yeah!
One more of us who was busted in this war.